U.S. And I just think that Mallory Pugh is starting to find her confidence and groove. And this is a player that has been incredibly balanced in how she has been able to break down the opposition. So it's been incredible to watch this ascension. We thought it was coming sooner than later, but it's great that it's finally here.
Well, she's finally been healthy, and that's been a plus. There's Andi Sullivan, number 17 in white. She will have a big role to play today versus Nigeria. It is the USA in white. Nigeria are in the dark uniforms. 7th meeting between these two nations. They've met several times at the World Cup. And we are officially underway from Kansas City. Ajibade with a long ball, and that's going to go out of play immediately. Hot conditions today in Kansas City. Probably have some hydration breaks. Deflected out again. Throw in U.S. Huerta spinning away from Munde. Collected. Looks like too far wide, and it is. U.S. getting it in for Horan. Dispossessed. She's down. First foul is called from referee Melissa Borjas of Honduras. Usually when these two clubs meet, it's been physical.
Yep.
It's not been easy despite some of the scores.
No, and that's why the tempo and the ball movement for the U.S. is going to be incredibly important today. They don't want to get into those duels and invite those challenges to come in from this organized Nigerian side. Really good look at just how tight between the lines Nigeria is right now. It's starting out in what looks to be a 4-2-3-1 that'll flex up into a 4-1-4-1 if the occasion arises.
On this right side, intended for Lavelle. That's cut off, and again, Nigeria will lose it out of play. A lot of the players didn't get here till Thursday. U.S. players pretty much here since Tuesday, but not a lot of training this week in Kansas City.
No, nothing, really. Nigeria, a lot of those players coming from overseas as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they settle into this match early on.
That was one of them, Tony Payne, with that pass up the left wing that was rejected. Ogbonna plays it back to goal. Trouble there, potentially. Deflected towards the corner flag. Ogbonna in a battle will win it. And clear it. Headed forward by Munde. Looking for Onumonu. Another foul is given there. Saw the U.S. play last in that 1-0 CONCACAF W Championship. The win over Canada. Penalty kick converted by Alex Morgan.
And they had some good looks in that game, the U.S. did. Sophia Smith had an open net at one point. Mal Pugh had a couple looks. It created enough for the scoreline to reflect differently.
Left there, Sophia Smith, cutting ball, Pugh leads it from Morgan, in behind the defense, couldn't get a shot off, clearly anyway, or cleanly, and it's deflected out for the U.S. first corner.
And the U.S. just manipulating this back line of Nigeria, getting the front three in close proximity to each other.
Nigeria back on the ball. Trying to have some possession. Turned over, though, to Lavelle. Rose spinning back. Was pushed wide initially by Sullivan. Horan from Fox. Lindsay on the turn. It was a wrestling match. No foul called on either player. Ball's out again. Throw in U.S. And again, they get it in quickly. Horan lost it on the wing. That's blocked. And the turnover, U.S. end line. Playing it across, right to goal. Nadozi makes the play.
And good tempo early on from the U.S. Get the ball back into play quickly, and then the turnover as they squeeze Nigeria in that far side. Release Pugh then down that end line, but that ball too easy from Dozie to grab. Goalkeeper for Nigeria, and Dozie was rated as by Randy Waldrum, the manager of Nigeria, as one of the top young goalkeepers in the world. We'll see if she has a blinder today.
Down that right side, gathered in. Played across, intended for Onumonu. Nair grabs it. Today's telecast is sponsored by Volkswagen, the presenting partner of U.S. Soccer. Ucheibe will move it right. Long ball to no one in particular, no one really close to that. Onumonu gave a thumbs up for it, but it was off target. Nigeria have already qualified for the World Cup. They made all 9. They've been dominant in Africa by far. 11 titles won there. No one is even close to that in Africa.
We weren't so lucky this last time around. Knocked out in the semis against Morocco.
Disappointing 4th place in the African Cup of Nations. Down the left side, runners in the box for Morgan, wide, and then cleared out just in the nick of time by Nigeria. That was close.
It was, and this is a better start than the U.S. had against Costa Rica. It reminds me back in qualifiers where there is going to be this space, and they're taking it early in behind this back line when that opportunity presents itself. Mallory Pugh, just one touch, then rifles this one across, just slightly out of reach for the outstretched Alex Morgan, who's looking to poach in the box. And then Sophia Smith on the wrong side of her defender as Tony Payne covers it nicely and makes that clearance.
The U.S. will collect it off of a missed opportunity from a Nigerian throw-in. Huerta. Cook. Sauerbrunn. Back for Alana Cook. 7th career start for this center-back duo. Sauerbrunn and Cook. Most of those games this year. One last year. Played into space almost.
And again, just good movement from the United States. Rose Lavelle pulling out the double pivot, one of the double pivots of Nigeria. That opened up the space for Sophia Smith to drop off into a lower position and then run at the Nigerian defense and ultimately hit that pass to Mallory Pugh, but a good buildup for the U.S. in this mid-zone.
Onumanu's header. Chase was Kanu. It's coming back to there. And the referee has blown the whistle to stop play. Early on here in the 8th minute.
We've seen a couple balls early on from Nigeria just pushed forward. This one dumped in. Onumonu trying to back up into that play. Both her and Sauerbrunn, 50-50 challenge in the air, and the two collide.
If he appears to be okay, plays now for Gotham FC. Used to play for the Reign in Portland. That is Randy Waldrum, a head coach since 2020. Heavily criticized after the African Cup of Nations where they finished 4th. Yes, they qualified for the Women's World Cup, but it's not easy to be the head coach of Nigeria. A lot of critics out there, Ali.
Yeah, and look, I think the reality should reflect that they were down to 9 players in that semifinal against Morocco. Took them to double overtime and to penalties and lost in penalties ultimately. You know, it could have been a very different story had they been playing 11v11.
U.S. back in the ball, and now Onumonu is back in the field. Cook for Huerta. Back for Cook. Cook and Huerta teammates with OL Reign in the NWSL. The move by Smith. Picked off. Payne into space. Onumonu has help on the right side. Held up there. Ucheibe was the intended target. The breakout pass. It worked. U.S. on the attack now. It's 3 on the attack. That ball was rushed by Fox.
Yeah, just right into the recovery movement of that back line. But I think the U.S. has to be wary of the space that they turn the ball in over. It's picked off by Sophia Smith. Excuse me. This is the counterattack by the U.S. and Emily Fox gets to that touch before the defender, and now she's just trying to pick a space that Alex Morgan is going to run into, and she needed to commit that next defender before she released it.
Lavelle will push it to the middle. It was off Morgan. Clipped ahead. Ajibade releases on that far side. That's Abiodun. There are 4 players on this roster from Nigeria that just played in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Team did well, won their group, 3 wins, no draws, no losses. Lost in the quarterfinals to the Netherlands by a 2-0 scoreline. Back to Alyssa Nair in goal. US coming into this game with 8 straight shutouts and a 740-minute shutout streak. Fox on the left. Moving forward, gaining the halfway line. Got it to the outside. The 5 in the attack now for the U.S. as Fox pulled up. Now tries to shake it off. Left sideline. Smith. She and he will alternate on those wings. And O'Halley couldn't keep it in. Another quick throw in for Morgan. And that's going to go out of play, but deflected out for a corner.
We've seen a couple challenges late on the U.S. players. This is the most recent one on Emily Fox. U.S. has to be aware of just trying to release that ball a step sooner, knowing that that challenge is going to come in from the defenders of Nigeria.
Second U.S. corner drilled to the near post. That's blocked. It was Abiodun that was there, and now another player down. So 2 players down fairly early in this game. The referee has stopped play again.
And that's certainly going to break up the tempo and the rhythm that United States is trying to set early on. This ball driven into the near post. The U.S. had loaded up the 6-yard box, and they're just looking to create chaos, flick that one on. I think it's the boot, in fact, of Andi Sullivan that may rise up, catch Alozie, or perhaps just the ball straight to head.
Alozie plays for the Houston Dash. Different role for her on this team. Normally we see her as a forward for Houston,
That's
a right back here.
And limited times for Houston at that, and she's been incredibly effective in those minutes. A couple goals already this season. But I spoke to the manager of Nigeria, Randy Waldrum, and he said he has to play some of these players out of their position because right now they're missing 6 starters, and you've got to fit puzzle pieces where they are. For instance, Ajibade, number 15, this is a player that is actually more adept as a winger. She can eliminate defenders on the dribble. She's incredibly savvy on the ball, and he's got her posted up in that 10 spot. And if you continue to watch her movement tonight, Andi Sullivan is the one that's going to be tasked with staying all over her. She's going to be the player that the U.S. do not want to have on the ball, in the outlet, in transition, from offense to defense. And Andi Sullivan already has stepped in one time already and won that ball from Ajibade.
Nigeria playing a player down with Alozie off the field. Ball flicked forward, the run there by Smith. Step behind the defense. First goal, U.S.
Well, if Nigeria is going to play direct on their goal kicks, they have to be ready for first and second. This first one is won by the U.S., and then they just don't pick up the second. In fact, they flick that on to the instinctive run of Sophia Smith, who is slashing in behind Alex Morgan, because that is going to be Alex Morgan's job to flick it on. Nigeria does it for Smith, and then Smith does the rest, slides this one back against Ndozie, even with the pressure of Tony Payne coming, and rides off that challenge with incredible balance.
So Smith is on the board. It is her 9th international goal, her 8th of this calendar year. Leads the U.S. in that category. Alozie was off the field and is still off the field when that goal was scored. So U.S. playing 11v10 at the moment. Ajibade's pass to the right. Chaby sends it long. Nares off the line to clear it. Here's the U.S. in the break. That was a good distribution. 3 on the move. And it's cut off. Fighting to win it back was Pugh. Nigeria take over, and it's overhit. Intended for Abiodun on that side. Laid off. That's cleared by Payne. 12 straight games for the U.S. Getting the game's first goal. Only conceded once in 2022.
Not a bad stat.
No. 11 straight wins. That draw surprised a lot of people, right? With the Czech Republic 0-0 back earlier this year in Carson, California. Perfect since then. Sauerbrunn. Another whistle to stop play. Cook will hold it for the U.S. Sauerbrunn.
U.S. pinching their 3 strikers centrally with Rose Lavelle, and now pushing on their outside backs for the width.
For another throw-in. Losey did come back on the field, but it was well after the U.S. had scored. It was a nice move.
Yeah.
Smith on the right. The cross in front. And a good thing that wasn't spilled because Horan was right there.
Just a silky touch by Sophia Smith. Splits the 2 defenders and puts that into open space where she's got the advantage, and then picks her head up, sees that she's got 3 runners inside the box. This one just too close to Ndozi, who's well off her line and reads that serve as well.
Kanu for Nigeria. Trying to spread it. Blocked. It's Huerta. Payne, left side. Pushing it through. Give and go. Too heavy in the touch. U.S. throw in. It's the same lineup that Vlatko Andonovski, U.S. head coach, used for that final against Canada. So 2 straight starts we may see next week when they play the second game. A few changes. Hard foul. Ogbonna. It's a U.S. throw-in. But down, Lavelle, and foul on Abiodun. Good start for the U.S. Up by a goal, 18th minute.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, this is just the 4th game out of the 13 this calendar year that the U.S. has scored in the first 15 minutes. Compare that with about a 50% rate last year. Not getting off to the flying starts we're accustomed to seeing.
Is part of that on them, or the fact that other teams are now playing that low block?
I think part of it's on the U.S. and their execution and the different tempo that they've set. We're used to seeing this U.S. press from the first minute and go, 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 and they've been more methodical, but also failing to convert some of the opportunities that they've had. It has been an issue.
Munde trying to make that move. Bell didn't bite. Too far for Smith. Morgan trying to flick it. Nigeria will collect it. O'Holly. Alozie. Back to O'Holly, who's played in 3 Women's World Cups. Drives this one long and wide for Munde. Gave that ball away. Cook. First pass good to Horan.
Oh, Cook had Pugh. She was in. The transition to transition was on for the U.S.
Sunday. Then the return. Ajibade taken down. Foul on Sullivan.
Well, that's a glimpse of Ajibade and what she can do in 1v1 situations. And you can hear Randy Waldrum calling to his side to go forward once they won it. Spoke to him the other day, and he said, when we win it, we do want to progress down the channel, the side that we win it on, because I'm not sure right now we have the capabilities to try to play through the center of the park and be more methodical.
Free kick from distance for Nigeria. Payne sends one into the box. Headed away by Cook. Fell to Smith. Nigeria collects. Tony Payne. Pushed back by Uchebi. Inadozie is already out of goal. O'Halley. From Alozie. Onumonu off the chest, looking for help. Tried to spin off. That pass denied. Fox made the initial play, then Sauerbrunn cleared up to an open Lavelle. Lost it on the touch. Normally she's cleaner on those. Payne. From distance. Two players missed that ball, but a foul on the U.S.
Well, the U.S. had a couple looks early on, but here's the one that they converted off of a goal kick from Nigeria, and there's a Nigerian player just careless trying to make a play on that. Flicks that in behind for Sophia Smith. Really good instincts, though, to be making that run initially. Gets on the end of it in stride and then finishes that one.
She talked to us yesterday about her confidence. When she first joined the team, she was a young player looking for experience, not expecting minutes. Now she's getting all of that, doing well for club and country, having a great year with her club team in Portland. And bounce back to Nair.
Yeah, and different roles, right, for club and country. Is it a two-front for Portland, more central? Here for the U.S., oftentimes isolated on the wings, but is developing a really nice partnership with Alex Morgan as those two play off of each other nicely.
It's always interesting to see how those players adjust, playing one position for their club, different position for their country.
Yeah, and I just think it's completing her game, rounding it out a bit. And she was very clear that she thinks she's improved in all facets.
The Sullivan pass for Fox. On that left side. Out on the wing, the attempted cutback is going to go out for a corner. As Pugh made the move.
The last time out on the corner kick, the U.S. loaded up to 6. This time, they're going to try to pick off their runners, starting at that penalty spot.
Third U.S. corner. Pugh will take it. Good with authority right towards the middle. It comes out to Lavelle. That's blocked. Looked like Uchedi got to that. Otherwise, could have been the U.S. second goal. What a play there. Turned over. U.S. into the box. Headed away. It was Huerta that made that play initially. U.S. looking, that's blocked as well. It falls, Smith, Horan looking, cutting, shooting, goal, Horan, 2-0 U.S.
Well, the initial target on the corner is the one who ends up putting the icing on the cake. Haran at the back post just makes a challenge on that, which makes it difficult for Nigeria to clear. They head it right down in a dangerous area where Lavelle steps up, has a strike. And then here's the play as it unfolded. Sophia Smith tries to take on her defender, and then the ball's just popping loose. But she ultimately gets on it and releases that pass to Haran, who sends the defender flying one way with this cut. I'm going to shoot it. Nope. Cut it back, and then just slide that one far post against Nadozi, who can't get down to ground. And it really was U.S. putting pressure on Nigeria. They could not clear their lines. They could not fire to the ball, step up, and make a play on it, and U.S. made them pay.
Great move, decisive move by Haran to get that goal. The 26th international goal. Came in the 26th minute. 2-0 U.S. Careless ball. U.S. couldn't make them pay. It's settled by Haran. Hughes pass ahead. Lavelle. Loose ball gathered in. Smith on the cut. Blocked. Lavelle was after it. That's a foul. Easy one to call on the U.S. And a yellow card was just issued for persistent fouling. That's what the referee was indicating with all those pointing gestures. This is the first booking of the day.
Here's the foul on Ajibadi. Good persistence from her to even try to make a play on that after she goes to ground. The ensuing yellow.
Hydration break right now. We'll catch up on the yellow cards. Let's go to Jenny, Danielle, and Alexi.
All right, JP, thank you very much. Well, guys, 2 goals we've already seen right now for the U.S., and I want to break them down. Danielle, you had spoken about Sophia Smith wanting to see her shift more centrally and play it. It clearly paid off for that last game.
Yeah, and I thought that was an interesting thing I was noticing early on. The new wrinkle that we've seen in Sophia Smith, shifting centrally, Rose Lavelle creating that space out wide. I think that space is created because Alex Morgan pushes a little bit higher, something we don't see from Kat Macario, who drifts back. So big opportunity for her to come in centrally, and I think ultimately the goal is part of a result of that.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about dominance and wanting to see some dominance. I think there was dominance in terms of the confidence that this team has had, not necessarily in terms of the ruthlessness. Both goals kind of off of broken plays. They all count the same, and that's a good thing. But with Alex Morgan up high there, if she's not going to be able to give anything behind in terms of the speed behind of that back line, then she's got to be first and foremost in that box. And the opportunities, the passing lanes that are there for the U.S. to get out, even with the high line from Nigeria, are there. You can turn, and then out wide, those balls that are coming in, there's been a bunch of really quality, good balls, dangerous balls into the box. If it's Alex Morgan, fine, but somebody has to be there to get on the end of those.
Okay, guys, thank you, and a great start for the United States. JP, Allie, back to you guys.
Allie, your thoughts in the first 20, almost 30 minutes, not quite.
Yeah, I think it's going as expected, really. You know, the U.S., they're overloading that front line of Nigeria, often getting their +1 up there. And you've seen it. We thought potentially Nigeria might play a back 5, but they are starting out this match in a 4. So that means the U.S. only has to commit 5 to that back line. Typically your front 3, that's why they are getting more in the interior, and then they're pushing on the fullbacks. It might be 1, it might be 1 attacking mid. Just depends on what the situation is calling for. And I think that is causing the advantage for the U.S. in terms of that width to be able to get off that service in the box that Lex is talking about.
Is it hot in Kansas City? Yes, says that graphic. It's actually hotter than the graphic is showing. It is 84 degrees temperature-wise, but it certainly feels more like in the 90s, and certainly even more than that for players.
Is that your official assessment?
That is my
or
meteorological, is that the word?
Yeah, let's know.
Meteorology? Something like that.
Kinesiology.
There you go.
Let's bring it back to that one.
I'll take it. Payne will send this one long. That hydration break probably comes at a good time, too, for Nigeria to collect their thoughts and see what they can do to slow this game down, because they don't want it to get out of hand. Yes, it's a learning experience for them, but they want to get some things accomplished against the U.S.
Yeah, they do. And look, they would like to press the game higher. Randy Waldrop said, if I had all my starters, we'd be actually going after this U.S. team. And because of that, we have to be more cognizant of the space in behind.
It's a great job by Morgan to keep that ball in play. Nadozi will clear it, halfway line area. It's off Cook. Sullivan. Here's Horan. Fox on the left. Horan. Smith and Horan, the goal scorers for the U.S. Nice ball played in. That's Pugh wide. Horan. Emily Fox. Pugh left side. Big cross in front. Morgan was going for it. It was spilled, but there was a foul. Quality cross coming in.
Yeah, really good service. And you see the proximity with Pugh playing out with Lindsay Horan, Emily Fox. They like this trio, this trio, and that triangle out there. And then with the poacher inside the 18-yard box that Alex Morgan is, she reads it the whole way, but Nnadozie well off her line, makes a mess of it, and ultimately gets get out of jail for free card with the foul.
That hydration break came. There's a yellow card issued. It was actually to a Nigerian player, Abiodun, for persistent fouling. Looked like it was going to go against the U.S. because that was where the foul was when play was stopped. But it was just for the foul. Abiodun plays it across. Ball played behind. Rosie catches up to it. O'Halley. If you're Nigeria, Ali, where can you find space against this U.S. team?
A lot of times it's just going to be in transition, really, and when you're going to look to find the spaces that Rose Lavelle, Lindsay Horan leave vacant when they are attacking. I think that the Nigerian team is going to have a difficult time breaking down an organized U.S. defense.
Lavelle was dispossessed. Picked up, cutting ball in. From distance, outside the box, quick shot taken high and wide of Nair. But there was Nigeria's first good chance.
Yeah, and to that point, I mean, it was just in transition. You know, they pick off the U.S. centrally and come the other way. But here's the savviness that Rose Lavelle possesses. Ability to turn in space like that, knowing pressure's arriving, senses it, smells it.
Sullivan pass out wide. Fox in his space. She realized she couldn't get to that ball, but presses to try to win it back. O'Halley. They forced her into a bad clearance, throwing U.S. Fox ahead, almost got that ball through. It's off Morgan. Left sideline. Pugh. Morgan turning, shooting. Morgan right at goal. Nice setup.
Yeah. From Rose Lavelle to Mallory Pugh on the far touchline. Incredible 1v1 ability in this U.S. team. There's a reason Mallory Pugh is leading this group right now in assists, sitting on 7. She can get around the edge, eliminate defenders.
34th minute, U.S. up by a couple of goals versus Nigeria. Both teams headed to the World Cup next summer. Australia, New Zealand, here on Fox. Ball deflects free. Smith, can she get a second? Went near post and hit the post.
It's just so hard to defend this front three of the United States because they're going to get in adjacent channels to each other. Sophia Smith gets on the end of the poor clearance from Nigeria because any bad touch, any miscue from that back line is landing at the feet of one of these front runners, and Sophia Smith tries to beat the goalkeeper near post. Cuts it too close, though.
11 goals for her NWSL season. Tied for second in the league. Playing in the space that's cut off. Payne, left wing. Her sisters also on this team. Both of the Payne sisters at one time were USA Youth Internationals. Attended college in the U.S. This ball deflects out for a U.S. throw-in. Taken by Sofia Huerta. Deflected in the box. Chebe clears. Intended for Onumonu, who catches up to it. Cook trying to catch up to her. Sauerbrunn angling over. Gave no angle. Munde's pass cut off. Well done defensively by Lindsey Horan. Head up to look for the counter. Was it on? So she'll pull it back for LaBelle. Sauerbrunn. Like he would push it across for Cook. Sauerbrunn at age 37. Still getting regular minutes for this U.S. team. Down the left side for Pugh. In the box. Taken away. Pushed right up the middle. Poor pass. Horan. That's blocked. The U.S. would have been in an offside position had that ball fallen to Morgan. And play has been stopped for that injury. The FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 is coming soon. It begins November 20th on Fox Sports. So back-to-back World Cups. The men, not in the traditional summer, but here in the fall. And then the women next summer. A lot of teams have already clinched spots in that. England clinched today. Norway yesterday. Germany clinched as well today. Still some spots up for grabs.
I just can't believe that the Men's World Cup is what, just under 2 months away. Here's the challenge on Lindsey Horan. And sent Ogbonna to the ground. Looked like perhaps knee to knee. But man, the World Cups are here again.
I know.
You blink.
Vlatko Andonovski, head coach, we mentioned before, went back-to-back with the same starting 11s. He's looking for cohesion between the lines, he said, and between the players.
And I think he'll be pleased with the movement and the spaces that they're occupying thus far, the way they've manipulated Nigeria defense. I think there's still room for improvement in that execution. We've seen a couple passes from Emily Fox not connect with the intended target. So there's been elements of that, but I think the movement and the interchange, the processing of the ball has been much smoother, much quicker from what we saw in qualifying. Getting a lot of early service from Mallory Pugh in particular down that left-hand side, and that's causing Nigeria problems.
Ogbonna's ready to come back in with the referee's permission. 39th minute. U.S. with a 2-0 lead over Nigeria. Payne. Nice couple of moves there. Trying to beat Smith. Squaring it. Rioden's pass into space. Long run by Kanu, but not near it. Nair clears it. Alozie wins it. Off a block. Chaden. Sauerbrunn goes back to Nair. Alana Cook walking it up.
And you're seeing the center backs with a lot of time on the ball, because with Nigeria, they're only going to present confrontation with one, with Ifeomi Onumonu. So those players can pick their passes out, open the field up if they so choose.
This is Alana Cook, brother from Stanford University. A lot of players have graduated to the U.S. national team from that college. Left side, Fox is high up as the left back. Looking, crossing it low, that's blocked. Moran putting pressure on that ball. Alozie long for Onumonu. Collected there by the U.S. Cook. Huerta. Sullivan pass ahead. Can Nigeria counter? The U.S. wins it back. Lindsey Horan with one of the goals. Sophia Smith with the other. Ball pushed in. That's a foul, or yes, from outside the box. And a yellow card issued as well to O'Holly.
The U.S. just always on that back line edge. Initially, Alex Morgan, Sophia Smith were looking to get behind, but Horan pulled it up, played a feed, and a wise decision. And then that cutting pass in behind, Mallory Pugh just slicing through on the diagonal, gets there before the defender, draws the foul. again, it's instinctive movement. It's not reactive, and that is why the U.S. is on the front foot, causing Nigeria a ton of problems.
This is about 20 yards away for Lindsey Horan.
This is that sweet spot where you can get it up and down over that wall and in the frame of the goal.
And backs it up. Waiting on the referee's whistle. Horan is set. Wall is set. Horan from 20. Save. Nadozie was right there. Saw it all the way.
Yeah, so many times goalkeepers will fade to that far post thinking the wall has got it covered, but Nadozie just stayed planted in the center and made a read on it. Comes up, ball in hand.
Nadozie puts it up. Mano mano. Djibadi. Kanu. The overlap. Alozie in the box, played it across, and it's deflected out. I thought it was. Should be a corner. Nigeria's first.
It's good play from Nigeria. They get it out into this wide channel. It's Ajibade again playing provider, and then they just wait on the run. Kanu waits on the run. The overlap from her fullback, Alozie. She gets around the edge, and she had the momentum to step on Fox, who's incredibly quick but can't get there in time.
43rd minute, US 2, Nigeria no score on their first corner. Towards the middle, Ajibade, that's headed down, it's still loose. Munde in front, cleared, that was Huerta. Big collision there, 2 players down. Nigeria do have some good size in the box, 2 players shy of 6 feet 5'10".
It's a lofted ball out towards the top of the box, but Ajibade gets on the end of it, and then the chaos ensues. Really tough challenge. Huerta pounces on the free ball off of the shot off of Munde, and Abiodun, excuse me, goes in on Huerta. Oof.
Abiodun's a player that's down and being treated. A lot of first half stoppages. That's the 3rd time for Nigeria. The player's been stopped. Huerta's okay and back up. But this is the 18-year-old who we saw at the under-20 Women's World Cup, who's back up on her feet. Almost through with the first half, Ali. Jenny, Danielle, and Alexi will give us their thoughts at halftime. What's your take on the first half?
I think it's been great by the United States. You know, we expected them to come out, dominate Nigeria. They've dominated possession. They've dominated field position. They've created enough chances to be up by more. And the relationships that Vlatko is so keen on evaluating and progressing over the course of the next 11 months heading into the World Cup, you know, they're getting better and better, and we've seen it, you know, through the tournament and CONCACAF, but now today against Nigeria, which is a different opponent. I mean, we talked about tempo. The tempo has been good for the U.S. despite all the stoppages of play. The U.S. has wanted to go up tempo, and they've been successful in doing so.
Fox was dispossessed, 61% possession for the U.S. You figure with 4 teams from Africa in this upcoming World Cup that the U.S. will get to play one of them. It may not be Nigeria, but 3 other teams are in it. Here's LaBelle. Right up the middle, good ball from Morgan. Save, rebound, Pugh, save. 2 big ones for Nadozie. I looked to see if the flag was going up, but it didn't go up on the initial ball.
Well, we've seen the U.S. have success in those wide channels, but how about this ball into the midfield from Emily Fox? Rose Lavelle wide open, and then it's just pick your runner. She finds Alex Morgan on the half turn, gets off a good shot, and then the rebound was followed up by Pugh after Nadozie spilled the first one, but a good save on the second.
4 minutes added on in stoppage time. No surprise there with the hydration breaks and the 3 times the game was stopped for injuries to Nigeria. It's a Nigeria throw-in from the far side.
I think another element that Blanco is going to be happy about heading into halftime is the amount of times they have not had to deal with the counterattack of Nigeria. That was one area that he knew would benefit Nigeria against them. Andy Sullivan's been in the right spaces to put out fires. I think the positioning of Alana Cook, all except one, she stepped in front of the outlet player, and Ife Onumonu. Her and Sauerbrunn have read the game well.
Up the middle, that pass has been there all game. Left side, Fox is in front, goal! Smith, 3-0 U.S.
And that certainly will put the icing on the cake for the United States as they head into halftime. Again, just good play between the lines. 2 passes, and they're in behind Nigeria's back line. And the early service, fruitful again for the United States. Sophia Smith running on that edge. The ball arrives, and then it's just a tap in. It's really difficult for Nnadozie, to get down quickly and make a play on that deflection off of Sophia Smith.
4th time she's had a multiple goal performance in this calendar year for the U.S. And she's in double digits now with 10 goals to lead the team. So that's the last thing Nigeria wanted. Going in at halftime, conceding a goal in stoppage time. Payne takes off, brings it to the middle. Djibati's pass blocked. Recovery by Nigeria. Munde knocked out by Huerta. Two goals by Sophia Smith, one by Lindsey Horan. 3-0 U.S. His last touch by the U.S. Payne with the throw-in. Played every minute in the recent African Cup of Nations tournament. Hugh settled it. Lavelle. Horan. Lost there. Djibati. Back through Djibati. On that spin move. Oh, Payne was wide open. Oh. Ball was turned over. Huerta to the middle. Horan slowed down, got it forward to Smith. 2 goals on the afternoon so far. Certainly a name to remember for next summer's World Cup, Sophia Smith. Same with Malpugh. In the box, tough angle, deflected, stays in play. Payne in the battle with Pugh. Turned over. Huerta. Out for a throw-in for the U.S. Seconds left in this first half. And that will do it. No throw-in taken there. So, what a first half for Horan, Smith and company. The U.S. scores in the 14th, the 26th, and the 45th minute. They take a 3-0 lead over Nigeria at halftime. After the break, Jenny, Danielle, and Alexi will take you through halftime from Kansas City. Was the difference. Otherwise, it was a 2-0 lead for the U.S. and Nigeria was in a better spot. What needs to happen, change for both teams in the second half?
Well, I think Nigeria has to make some moves if they want to get back in this, but that's the big question is, do they want to learn from this and keep the scoreline tight, or do they want to stretch these players and see what they can offer and be a bit more expansive in their shape? That's up for Randy to decide. I think for the U.S., it's going to be more of the same. I think they penetrated. You think about their goals. I mean, they came in a plethora of ways, getting around the edge, the wide channel. That's obviously been the more successful attacking area for the U.S., but they also penetrated centrally on 2 of them.
Nigeria have players up by the 4th official, but no changes yet. I think they wanted to make a change, but it's not happening. They have the players up now. It is going to happen. Don't know why the delay. So we've got 3 different ones coming in. We'll try to get them for you. 8, 10, and one other one. Embodies in. And Nikki Payne, Nicole Payne is the other one that's coming in. And we'll get the players that have come out as we get ready to start officially now the second half. So 3 changes made for Nigeria, none for the U.S. at this point. Those changes could be coming around that 60th minute mark. U.S. on the ball, 3-0 lead. Cook holding there. Horan with 1 goal already. Cutting ball there for Pugh. Right at goal. Nadozie will put it back into play for Nigeria. And back towards the U.S. end. Payne down that left side. The 2 Payne sisters are out there now together. Tony Payne's cut, then the shot wide of Nair. Rushed it. Had some other options.
And with Gift out, that means Tony Payne is now pushed up and doing a more advanced position down that left-hand side.
Sauerbrunn on it. Numbers for you. Sophia Smith with the 2 goals, 9 in her last 9 games, 1 goal in her first 13 with the U.S. So she's clearly turned things around with the score sheet. And a bouncing ball in front. That's Nadozie. So the 3 confirmed subs for Nigeria: Imran, Mbadi, and Nicole Payne. Out was Abiodun, Munde, and Kanu. Sauerbrunn kept it in play. US captain goes back to goal. There. Missed Horan on the outlet. Right in front of that Nigerian bench. And it's lost now. It's U.S. ball. Horan was going to go for the quick throw. Finds Smith. Deflected ball to Morgan. She's knocked over and whistle with a foul nonetheless. Uchebe.
And again, it's just been successful for the U.S. The close proximity to each other. You get deflections bouncing on the feet of teammates. In that case, it's Alex Morgan, and then she draws the foul.
Cook. Push it right. Huerta. Into space. Ball cut off. Smith after it. 4 players in the box for the U.S. Ball is cleared by Bonner. Huerta back on it. Cook. Lavelle. U.S. force back. Here's had 9 shots in the opening half. 3 of them resulted in goals. Fox. Sauerbrunn. No foul. Referee lets play on. U.S. will recover. 2 players still down, though, where that contact occurred, and now the whistle blows. Fox is back up, able to survive that collision.
It just looked like an awkward challenge between Ajibade and Fox, who had the step on her. She's going to release this pass, and then it's actually well timed by Ajibade and a good no call by the ref. She blocks that pass, both go to ground. Perhaps the fall that left its mark on Ajibade as she continues to play with that hand.
U.S. with it. Cook for Sauerbrunn. Sophia Smith with multiple goal game, 2 for her. Had a hat trick earlier this year versus Uzbekistan. Iran has the other U.S. goal. Here is Lindsay. Left side, Fox. Puts it on the right foot. Denied. Alosi was in that battle. Has some help. Up the wing, but Alosi wasn't there for it. Sauerbrunn. Sullivan. Box. This is Mal Pugh, 1v1 at the moment, going wide, looking to cut it back. She went down in the box. Penalty. Well, that's the second dead ball situation that Pugh has created. Earlier was a free kick. This is a penalty.
And you can see O'Holly disagrees. How about this for one of your first interactions in the game? If you're Nicole Payne, a 1v1, you're driven inside the 18-yard box with Mallory Pugh. Challenge is there. Enough of it for the ref to see it, call it, give the U.S. an opportunity to go up 4.
Lindsey Horan had it, and now she's going to turn it over to Alex Morgan. He's converted 3 of her last 5 penalties for the U.S. 4 for 4 in the NWSL this season. Alex is ready. Words for the goalkeeper first from the referee Borges. 118 goals in Alex Morgan's brilliant international career, 5th all time among U.S. players. Morgan with the walk-up, Morgan the shot, and an easy one for Alex Morgan, 4-0 U.S.
Well, different situation from qualifiers against Canada, where there was a lot of pressure on Alex Morgan. She stepped up and finished that one. Same result today, sending the U.S. up 4-0. Just slides this one on the ground, sends the goalkeeper Nadozi the wrong way, and really easy put away for her. Good conversion.
All U.S. Morgan's 4th penalty for the U.S., her 1st goal ever against Nigeria, the 31st country that she has scored against. So now it's 4-0 for the U.S. Morgan is back on the score sheet with her 119th international goal in her 197th appearance. She'll be at that 200 mark shortly. Lavelle, U.S. keeping the foot on the gas pedal. Smith, and that goes right to goal. Another collision, though.
How good was that pass from Rose Lavelle?
Smith is down. That's always going to be a concern when any forward now is down on the field.
Yeah, both her and Ogbonna down, but Rose Lavelle, I mean, just so wise and knows how to manipulate the opposition in possession, slides that one, reverses it across the momentum of everyone and their thought process included. And then there's the collision between Smith and O'Holly. Ends up in a trickler for the goalkeeper to pick up.
Well, they've already had injuries to attacking players. Macario out, extended with her injury. Lynn Williams was injured before. The injury list is amazing. Alexi Lalas was talking about champagne problems. This is a good starting 11, but you've got Crystal Dunn coming back from maternity. We don't know what Julie Ertz's plans are, right?
Right.
Sam Ewis has been injured.
Right.
Tierna Davidson. I'm sure I'm missing others. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. But there's a lot of players. A lot of players who are expected to come back and compete for minutes for a spot in the starting 11.
Incredible depth in this U.S. side, as we've known for many years. And Sophia Smith, I mean, this is someone that has really coming on the stage this year. Confidence in the NWSL, and now with the United States, just pouncing on that free ball in behind the back line off the miscue, not picking up the second for Nigeria. Then the U.S. gets around the edge with Emily Fox. Smith always hounding on that back line of the opposition and gets the reward for that one.
Appears to be okay. Megan Rapinoe looks like she might be ready to come into this game soon. She's been in great form with her NWSL club, OL Reign. And Nigeria will be losing a player. Obama. They don't have a replacement up yet. Now they do. We see Blessing DeMahon. Another player that's from their under 20 Women's World Cup team.
That's right, because out of the 6 starters that Nigeria was down, 2 were in that back line. The others in midfield.
Bonner was a young player herself, only 23, replaced by a 20-year-old. 4-0 if you're just joining us. USA over Nigeria. The last goal scored by Alex Morgan. A converted penalty kick. Iran also scored in this game, the only U.S. player to score each of the last 8 calendar years. O'Halley for Nigeria. This hot, sticky day in Kansas City, Kansas. Children's Mercy Park. Left sideline, Nigeria looking for Anamanu. Has help, but couldn't get that ball across. Deflected up by Cook. Always great atmosphere in Kansas City, whether it's MLS, NWSL, or international, men's or women's. Imbadi into the box. Nair will get it. She and Fox were both there. And then Alozie got involved with Nair. They should know each other from their NWSL days. Alozie for the Dash, Nair for Chicago.
Well, it's a ball that drifts into this back post, gets in behind the back line. It's a tantalizing service. Nair well off her line. And then Alozie just trying to stop the quick build out of the U.S. Nair sells it well. Looks like a striker going to ground that easily.
Right sideline. Nigeria on the ball. Played back by Payne. O'Halley. Walking it to the left. Remeli. O'Halley. Nigeria will play the U.S. twice. They'll play Tuesday at Audi Field in our nation's capital. And they also have a friendly coming up against Japan. They picked some quality opponents. They started this calendar year with 2 games, a loss and a draw against Canada. That's off the chest of Huerta. Good first ball. Lavell's pass slightly behind. Emelin goes back to goal. Nadozi with that clearance. Off Huerta. Lavelle. Rose far side, bottled up, got it back. Huerta. Cook. Picked off, but then Nigeria will lose it. Lavell's pass ahead. And that's going to be cut up by O'Halley. U.S. have players warming up, so as expected, probably around the hour mark, they're going to make some changes. See Purse down there, Rapinoe, Sanchez, all loosening up. Horan, Fox, Cook. So pass back for Sauerbrunn. Here is Becky Sauerbrunn. Stretching for that was Morgan. Chibadi. block. That was Sullivan who broke it up. Lavelle's pass ahead. Right side, Smith in front. Save. Nadozi does well. He was there for what could have been a tap-in.
You said it. Andy Sullivan did so well just to step up and block any transition that Nigeria was trying to mount. She forces her one way, then steps in for the challenge. Now Lavelle's on a free pass, really slides that one into the path of Sophia Smith, who's trying to guide it into Mallory Pugh, but it fades away from her and lands at the feet of Nadozi.
Back on the ball with Sullivan, making her moves. We got 3 subs coming in for the U.S. soon. Huerta for Sullivan. Fox. Intended pass was for Pugh. Didn't make it. Huerta coming back to win the ball.
And well done, because Huerta's gotten in more advanced positions this half around with Emily Fox tied in more of an inverted fullback role.
Here's the U.S. looking for more. Smith in the cut in front. And that's Nadozi making the play again. We've got Sanchez, Rapinoe, and Purse all up by the 4th official, waiting for their turn. Nigeria with O'Halley up the middle.
And you could see Vlatko trying to wave forward the U.S. They didn't step, and that created some space between the lines. Ultimately got Ajibade on it.
Pugh from Fox drives it. Close, but not close enough to Smith. Play back to goal. It was by Imoran.
She's been good since coming in, Imoran.
This is one of the 18-year-olds from the under-20 Women's World Cup. Horan. Big switch. Huerta. Sophia goes forward. Puts the brakes on. Missed on that pass to Lavelle. Ajibade. Cutting ball by Alozi. Anamanu. Chebi. Switched across. Numbers forward for one of the few times today for Nigeria. And that's going to be cut off. U.S. will take over. Nigeria come away without a shot there. That's Pugh holding it. Into the box goes Mal Pugh, looking in the middle, just missed the attempt to find Alex Morgan. Nigeria also have a sub they want to get in. 14, Kechukwu. Be their 5th sub. 6 allowed in these friendlies. Ajibade. Return there quickly by Payne. Anamanu knocked away. That's Nicole Payne after it. Keeping it alive on the right side. Dropping it back. Ajibade versus Fox. Fox does well in that recovery. Very well. And actually draws the foul. And now we'll probably see all these subs coming in. Coming out, Mal Pugh to this ovation. Sophia Smith will get one as well. Ovation, that is. We believe Lindsey Horan's going to be the other, and that is the case. So 3 of the big attacking players have come out. Replaced by Sanchez, Rapinoe, and Purse.
How would you like to face those 3 now on tired legs? The depth of this U.S. side to be able to bring in Ashley Sanchez having a great season in the NWSL. Midge Purse, another player that can stretch the line. And what a night for that woman, Sophia Smith. She has been the spark for her team in club play and really the spark for this U.S.
Chukwu came in for Anamanu for Nigeria. So 3 changes for the U.S., another one for Nigeria. Pushed across, takeaway from Nigeria. Tony Payne with speed, slowed down by Sullivan. Chibandi. Payne on this near side. Rapinoe tucked it. May end up with this ball yet. Force back. O'Halley. Back to Nadozi. We talked a lot pregame and in-game about Andi Sullivan and her role. How has she looked today, Anna?
I think she's been solid. She's been up to the task. I think she's stepped in at the right moments. Her positioning's been good. And I think you also have to credit, because it's not just Andi Sullivan. We talk about the countermeasures and the balance to the way this U.S. tries to overload that front line. You have to talk also about Alana Cook and Becky Sauerbrunn and how they were dealing with just that lonely soldier up top of Ifeoma Onumonu. It's looking different this second half. Nigeria's pushing 3 up there, and they are in a more attacking shape in possession. And you've seen Nigeria be able to find some moments to progress down the field in their build, as opposed to that first half, which was more direct in their play, and the U.S. dealt with that well.
Payne lost it there, but Nigeria recovers. That pass needed to be wider for Nicole Payne. Instead, it's Fox with that pass ahead. Megan Rapinoe, 15 in the white of the U.S. Rapinoe, look at that ball. Almost had eyes on it for the breaking Purse. Rapinoe putting pressure on. Goes back to goal. Cleared by Nadozi. Settled by Sullivan. To Sanchez, her Washington Spirit teammate. Ball attempted cross by Fox. Down again. Trying to shake it off as that ball is going to be cleared out of play. Fox has had a couple of rough moments with collisions in this game, but has bounced back.
Yeah, a couple of them coming from her just dwelling on the ball, perhaps a split second too long, inviting that challenge. Others just because she will step in for the tackle.
Left there for Rapinoe. Squares it. Huerta fires wide. The vision by Rapinoe and then the ability to make that pinpoint pass. Great qualities.
And you also have to credit the space that is created with the U.S. just driving that back line deeper. That's a really wide open channel to slide that one across the whole goal mouth. And then that lands at the feet of the exact person, her club teammate that she would want to have on it. Huerta scored a few from that exact spot. Or club.
68th minute. Nadozi will put it back into play. Short for O'Halley. DeMalen. Up the middle picked. Sullivan, head up. Brings it forward. Took a long distance shot. Stopped by Nadozi.
And it's interesting. We've seen this out of the U.S. before, where they will skew their attack to one side or the other. In the first half, more the triangulation between Emily Fox, Lindsay Aram, Mallory Pugh on this near side. Second half, they're releasing Huerta more, giving her more offensive tasks, responsibility, and with Fox tying in a bit more defensively.
Chibadi, solid player for Nigeria. And the offside flag goes up. Touched by Alozie. And we see other subs getting ready to come into the game. Ashley Hatch is one. Christy Mewis is another, and Haley Mace is the third. We'll see when they come in, if they all come in at the same time. The result is certainly in hand, Alex. penalty. So there are things, though, that Vlatko Andonovski will be looking for the rest of the way. No bad habits, obviously. You play again on Tuesday. But what else are they trying to do besides protect the shutout? What else?
I think it's going to be continue to look at those relationships and how does Megan Rapinoe fare with Fox on this near side and Ashley Sanchez. That pattern of play that we saw in the first half, it's going to look incredibly different. Megan Rapinoe wants the ball at her feet. She wants to face up. She wants to release the opposite side. You already saw it in that ball over to Huerta. So that means Fox is probably not going to get as many touches in that final third. So it's the understanding of the personnel that you have around you.
Morgan, Fox, and Lavelle all leave to ovations. As the U.S. makes 3 subs at once for the second time. And that's it for their subs. So fresh legs out there. Fresh ideas and players looking at it for minutes, too.
Yeah, exactly. And to make a statement, Ashley Hatch, one of those players that initially, you know, we talked about with no Kat Macario, was it Ashley Hatch or Alex Morgan?
Certainly Morgan right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, went down the foul by Mbadi. Haley Mace plays for the local team here, the Kansas City Card. Used to play for the North Carolina Courage. We haven't seen her with the U.S. really since 2018 when she got her first of 3 caps. Hydration break right now, so let's go downstairs to Jenny, Danielle, and Alexi.
All right, JP, thank you. Well, 4 goals right now for the United States, and we just saw plenty of subs get in the mix as well. But in terms of what we've seen so far, we can take a look at some of the goals already today because they have been impressive. Sophia Smith, one of those players. I mean, she's got 10 right now for the U.S. And let's just take a peek back at what we've seen.
Well, for me, one of the things that stands out defensively is that the U.S. has read the game well and had some key interceptions. You saw it on that first goal from Sophia Smith. And I think it's not only limited Nigeria's ability to counterattack, but has created chances as well.
Yeah, look, it's hard to glean a whole lot of information against this this competition that Nigeria is putting on for the U.S. You know, however, scoring goals is good in my expert opinion. The opportunities that they are creating, so from an attacking perspective, things look really good. Defensively, they haven't been challenged a whole lot. I'm a little bit worried she doesn't fill me with confidence out there on the right-hand side with Huerta going on. Keep it in mind, by the way, on the other side, talk of ramifications and consequences. When you talk about Randy Waldrum, the head coach of Nigeria, he loses this game, and he's going to lose this game badly. They're probably going to lose in D.C. That's 2 big losses, and he is under incredible pressure. So that opportunity to coach this team in the World Cup, that might not be there for him come next summer. So there are plenty of stories that are happening on and off the field when it comes to this game for both of these teams.
It's a really good point. And we just saw lots of subs going in. Danielle, is there any player of the mix that you're particularly watching out there now?
Well, I mean, I think for me in particular, Megan Rapinoe, what is going to be her role and her impact? We know she was a starter in 2019. We know she's going to come off the bench. And if I'm being critical of the U.S., I think their crosses haven't been as efficient. I think that's something she can bring as well.
Okay, great. Looking forward to watching in action. JP, Allie, take it away.
Thanks, Jenny. Allie, what does happen to win a game like this? You're really changing more than half of your team when you make 6 subs.
Look, broken rhythm, that's expected, but after a few minutes as things click on, you should be able to pick up where you left off. Now, easier said than done, that is for sure. And I also think the U.S. is in a different posture now that Nigeria has been a bit more attack-minded. So that can leave space in behind, that can leave isolations.
Long distance free kick from Cook. Knotted down, second ball. Mace on the turn, squaring it. Huerta in the box, that's off Hatch. Cleared away. And now there's another Nigeria player down. A lot of Washington Spirit players on the field right now. You've got Sanchez, you've got Hatch, you've got Sullivan. Trinity Rodman would have been here, but she had another obligation, so it's not on the roster.
Ball served in for Ashley Hatch to get a step on O'Holly, and the 2 collide. It looks like head-to-head. And after this play, after this clearance, we actually saw another good moment by Andy Sullivan, just bodied up the player. 1 possession for the U.S. The ensuing moments, the play was whistled dead.
I think at one point there were like 6 Washington Spirit players who were supposed to come in. And Sonam was hurt, O'Hara was hurt, Rodman had something else. but they still are very well represented. They've had a tough year after winning
Yes.
it last year.
Yeah, that's
right?
that might be the understatement of the year.
Understatement. Great year last year amidst all the controversy, new ownership, coaching change, and then this year, that Challenge Cup, they got towards the end of it, but then once the regular season started, they just couldn't seem to win.
No, and what, Challenge Cup hangover, championship hangover, call it what you will, perhaps young players not clicking. They made that coaching change recently, appointed Albertine Montoya out of actually our area to come over and be that interim head coach. So look, no, things were not right in Washington. That was clear. But those players were in so many of those games. That is probably the most frustrating part from just an unbiased fan looking at the way that their season has progressed. They could have picked up 3 points in many of those matches and just failed to seal it.
Play will resume with this free kick. And Nigeria has made another change. Akudu Ogbonna. We didn't see who is coming out. O'Halley is out. So both teams have used their complement of 6 subs. Slow ball coming back. Ogbonna.
We'll see if it holds true, but the U.S. is just in a different pressing scheme. When the opposition is building now, it used to be almost like a 4 umbrella, and now they're just pressing with 3, our typical 3 and 3. We'll see if that continues.
Sauerbrunn from Cook. Sauerbrunn began her NWSL career with the old FC KC team. Latko Andonovski was the coach there. Down that right side. Pelosi fires, tipped by Nair. First big chance, first big save. Corner Nigeria.
And since Tony Payne has moved further up the field, along with Alozie, Nigeria has looked more dangerous. It's the ball in behind, the outside back position. Haley Mace just trying to make up the ground. And Alozie releases shot right before pressure comes. Necessary tip over the top by Alyssa Nair. She sees it the whole way. Good power on that shot, but that is the space in behind the outside back. Sauerbrunn couldn't cover in behind quick enough.
Nigeria corner. Ball played into the middle. Second ball collected by Mace. Far side. Ball stays in play. Nigeria back on it. Bobby. Tony Payne. Ogbonna. Nicole Payne. Right side versus Rapinoe. Now Sauerbrunn drawn over. Right to Alyssa Nair. '78th minute. Play stopped again. There's a Nigerian player down on the far side. Ucheibe. They are out of subs. So Nigeria is hopeful that this doesn't get worse.
One of the things that has helped this Nigerian side is with Tony Payne getting more touches in the center of the park. You think of how they were not able to expel pressure and bypass it in the first half. With Tony Payne, she's been so comfortable on the ball. She's been that outlet player that they were looking for early on. And now in the center, more touches, can handle the pressure well enough and advance Nigeria down the field. Here's the battle between Haley Mace and Ucheibe. Haley Mace just shoves her from behind. Ref doesn't even call it, but Ucheibe, wise to it on the ground, still makes the play on the free ball. And then ultimately suffers on that last moment.
Ucheibe plays for Benfica, scored 1 goal in the African Cup of Nations. One of their more dependable players. The stretcher is there to assist her. Nigeria may have to play with 10. See if she comes back. US 4, Nigeria no score. 2 goals by Sophia Smith since subbed out. 1 by Lindsey Horan, also subbed out. 1 by Alex Morgan. Same for her. Here's Mace. Christy Mewis. Sauerbrunn. 80th minute. Nigeria playing with 10. Huerta in the space. Sanchez, ball played across, not far enough. Had 2 runners in the box. Dozy, 21-year-old keeper, will send it long. She plays in France with Paris FC. Collected by Cook. Mace. Huerta. 80th minute. U.S. 4, Nigeria no score. So Sanchez. Battle for the ball. U.S. trying to recover. They may here with Rapinoe. Knocked away from her. Ogbonna. Nikki Payne versus Mace. That's a dangerous ball. DeMahan chased it down. Run up that far side. Imran. U.S. will get it back. Nigeria has only showed glimpses in the attack today. After they're missing several players. This is not the team you'll see in Australia and New Zealand next summer on Fox.
Oh, that's spot on. And, you know, Randy had said that he would like to commit more numbers forward, but without the starting core, really hard to do that. So you see the way Nigeria is playing. They're not sending a ton of numbers to overload.
Mace to Sanchez, too far. You will see some of these players in Australia and New Zealand, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
But there'll be other quality players to join them.
Here's a look with Pino on the ball, just using the decoy run of Sanchez to slip this one into Fox, and it's that triangulation that sets free Ashley Sanchez, but the ball too heavy.
Ucheibe is on the sideline. She wants back in. Nigeria, the last few minutes, have played with 10. Good to see that Ucheibe appears to be okay, or okay enough to try it. Javali from distance, right in there. The U.S. coming back on the left side. Held up by Mace. Still waiting for the referee to let Ucheibe back on the field. And now she gives that signal.
Get in, get in.
Huerta. Mewis off that left foot.
Oh, she had to return to Huerta, though.
Sanchez, that was too quick. Looking for Purse. Plays for Gotham FC in the NWSL. They too have made a recent coaching change. Left side, that's broken up. Out of play. Throw in Nigeria. 83rd minute. U.S. up by 4. Play again Tuesday in D.C. Collected by Nigeria. Play to the right side, Nikki Payne. Moving it forward. Into space. The newest player, Ikechukwu, the freshest legs in the game, drops it back. Payne, turning. That's Tony Payne. Sister Nicole, Mbadi. Ogbonna. DeMahan. Keeping some possession here, but going back the other way. Madosi tries for the long ball. Nice recovery. And there was a slide tackle from Mace.
A really good spell of pressure there from Nigeria, and you could hear on that negative pass that Glocka was urging his team just to squeeze the game a bit more. Here comes Nigeria again.
Ikechukwu, and that's going to go out of play. Belongs to Nigeria. Right by the corner flag, but it'll be a throw in deep.
And U.S. committing all 11 players in around that 18-yard box. They're not leaving anyone above it to counter. Nigeria is still, though, maintaining 5 at least behind the ball. That tells you anything about commitment to the attack to send numbers, flood numbers forward from Nigeria.
Peter just nicked that ball off a Nigerian player to get that goal kick. MLS on Fox. It's Portland versus Atlanta tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. MLS on Fox tomorrow. Rapinoe trying to switch, looking for Sanchez. Rapinoe wanted back. Cook, halfway line. Sauerbrunn. Mace. Inviting ball in, Mewis trying to bring it down off the chest. Almost handled it. Played up the wing by Nigeria. And again, they don't seem to keep much possession.
A lot of that has to do with the structure that the U.S. has offensively. So when they do transition to that defense, they've already got numbers and pressure and players around it to force an errant pass.
Knocked ahead by Payne. A race for the ball. That's Sullivan again. The ground she's covering.
And her starting positions have been bright.
Cook. Sauerbrunn. 87th minute. U.S. 4, Nigeria, no score. 2 for Sophia Smith, 1 by Haran, 1 by Alex Morgan on a converted penalty kick. The Rapinoe pass, looking for Hatch. Sauerbrunn finds Rapinoe. Has Mace to the left, finds her. Mace looks, the cross deflected. Obama with a pickup, looking for Tony Payne. Gets out of traffic well. Payne, wrong side, looking for Ikechukwu. Tackled away from Sanchez. Good recovery, worked up, well done. Hatch, Golden Boot winner last year in the NWSL, Ashley Hatch. Russian Spirit player. Rapinoe trying to float that in from Purse.
That's been about 3 or 4 times the last few passes for Rapinoe where she's just trying to play that early ball in behind. It's not coming off.
Bona. Jibadi. Look who is slowing her down. Sullivan again. Mewis with a pick. Christie puts it ahead. Hatch turning. Rapinoe will look for somebody to run into that space. Instead, Sanchez has to pick it up for Huerta. Sophia puts one into the box. The run there off Rapinoe. Looking for some magic like we saw in her last NWSL game, right? With her goal and her assist. One better than the other.
I pick the assist all day, every day.
Yeah.
It was my assist of the week, actually.
What a performance at age 37. Ikechukwu across the way, too far away from Payne. It's a U.S. throw-in. Rapinoe. Cook. Huerta. U.S. is trying to close it out, get the shutout. Be their 9th straight.
Wide open in the seam, Ashley Sanchez.
Look at this ball, just missed. Trying to find Hatch, her Spirit teammate. Uchebe, dangerous. Obama got it out wide. Imran. 6 second-half subs for Nigeria. Go back to goal. Nadozi. Nikki Payne, right side. This is to Tony beside her on the right, farther right. Tony Payne versus Mace, running it into the box, plays it across, blocked. Sauerbrunn. And then Rapinoe is fouled by Mbadi. In the 90th minute. All U.S. 4-0 over Nigeria. Purse has help going forward. Purse had that intercepted.
God, she just picked the wrong side of the player to try to find Huerta in behind. The channel was on.
Mace. Buis. Ball is pushed to the right. 5 minutes added on in stoppage time for all the subs in a hydration break. Off the deflection. Cook finds it. And another Nigerian player down.
And it's a small thing, but I think Cook gets lucky there. She was unaware of that movement of Ikechukwu in behind her. The pass was right at the feet of Ikechukwu. That laid into Alana Cook's hands so she could make that challenge. But if that ball is laid into space, Ikechukwu is in behind. Those are the moments that you ask, you know, what does the U.S. need to do as they close this game out? Yes, they're up 4-0, but it's those small details that really matter.
Cook will hold it. We're in stoppage time. A minute gone. An expected 5. Mace with a pass behind. Sullivan fights to try to win it back. Ikechukwu. Ogbonna. Dimehin. Nadozie. By Payne. Back to Ogbonna. She'll try to switch it. Huerta putting pressure on. Back to Nadozie. Almost 2 minutes gone in stoppage time. It's Tony Payne. And broken up. Buis and Mace combined. Sullivan. Cook. Nair calls everyone off. 3rd minute of stoppage time. It's Hailie Mace on the move. Megan Rapinoe. Mace. Slowing it down. That one's picked. Somebody got it to the outside. Wanted to get it returned to her. Payne. Tony Payne. Out of play. Nikki Payne with a throw in.
And again, Blanco just urging Sanchez in this case to get higher. He wants the U.S. to be more aggressive in their positioning.
We won't have time, Ali, at the end of the game to get your thoughts, so let's get them now the way this game has progressed.
I think when we talked about the U.S. coming out and dominating, they certainly did that. You know, scoreline 4-0 could have been much more. I think the second half left some things to be desired. Yes, the substitutions, you know, upset rhythm at times, but I do think that the United States had to be, they were on their heels a bit more, and that was because Nigeria was throwing more at them. And when I say more, I mean just slightly more. It's not like it was a lot. So the U.S. was not up against it defensively, really. Just individually had to win their duels. They did that. So Blanco will be happy with that aspect. But in terms of goal creation, chance creation, the U.S. was much more efficient in their tempo, something we didn't see in qualifiers. And I think, you know, you're going to check some boxes in terms of the progress that was made.
Ikechukwu's pass back, deflected ball. It's going to go out of play for a corner for Nigeria. Should be their third. have much time to get it into play.
And they're still going to leave 4 behind it, 5 behind it if you include Mendoza, the goalkeeper.
We'll go short to Tony Payne. Left it off. Cross there into the middle, headed straight up. Second ball brought down, a swing and a miss. Gathered in. Pushed back to the outside and then in. Nobody could get to that ball. Still loose for Payne. Shot through traffic, stopped by Nair. That should be it for the night. Not much left here. This will be the 12th straight win for the USA by a combined 50-1 margin. 9th straight shutout. As soon as we hear the final whistle, we've gone beyond the 5 minutes, and that will do it. So, good night for the USA. They collected a couple of goals from Sophia Smith, her leading goal scorer for this team. It is her 10th of this campaign. Her second one was the 10th. Horan scored, and so did Alex Morgan. 4-0 U.S. defeats Nigeria as we toss things back downstairs to Jenny Taft.
All right, JP, thank you. The U.S. unbeaten in their last 7.